Jai friends, I'm Major Gaurav Arya and you're watching the Chanakya Dialogues English. Threatening anyone. You'll always see the defense minister threatening people because the defense minister is not taken seriously and it gives Pakistan plausible denial. Managers, today India is sending CEOs all over the world. Pakistan was sending laborers yesterday. It is sending laborers today. It will send laborers tomorrow. Jai friends, I'm Major Gaurav Arya and you're watching the Chanakya Dialogues English. Like this video, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. So my friends, Pakistan has again pulled off the impossible, and what else could it be? Is it Chandrayaan? No. Is it a moon mission? No. It's got nothing to do with science. It's got nothing to do with technology. It's nothing to do with trade or diplomacy. Pakistan has done fantastically well what it is the world champion in doing, that is begging for money. And Pakistan has managed to convince China to roll over $600 million of loans. Now, what is a rollover? A rollover is that when you are due to pay back your loan, right, you tell the country that has given you the loan or the institution that has given you the loan to say that, please defer. Please defer. We can't pay you right now. So this is what Pakistan, has been telling China, and China has agreed $600 million. And what does China do when it gets money from the IMF, from Saudi Arabia, from the UAE? It says, we are going to make a flag bigger than India. I just want you guys to understand, my friends, I want you to understand what is the mindset here of this country, right? They want to make a flag, or they want to hoist a flag, the Pakistani flag, which is taller than India, and that is their answer to Chandrayaan 3. How does such a country think? How does such a country function? In itself is a case study. And we leave it at that. So Pakistan has again pulled off the impossible, convinced China to roll over $600 million worth of loans now. In another news, very interesting, what has happened is that near the international border in Taran, 2.35 kgs of heroin were discovered by the Border Security Force, and actually the BSF during night hours, night hours, ambient sound is very less. And the drone makes a lot of sound. So what these Pakistanis do is, they send these drugs to India, they send them through, drones. And these are commercially available drones. So you just put on a packet of 2, 3, 4, 5 kgs, depending on the size of the drone. And you just send it into India and you press a button, it drops, the packet drops, and the drone comes back to Pakistan, and they make several, of these rounds. Now the BSF patrol heard the sound of the drone and the loud thump of something dropping. They went and investigated and they found that 2.3 kgs of heroin was there. Now, a lot of people ask me, how is it that Pakistanis manage to fund terror outfits? Because we always hear them saying that we are broke, we are on the verge of default, we have no money to pay salaries, we have no money for fuel, we have no money to buy potatoes and onions and tomatoes, and we don't have money for anything. And on the other hand, we also say that Pakistan is funding terrorism. So how does Pakistan fund terror? One day I'll explain the concept of the Golden Triangle and the Golden Crescent. For those of you who do not know, it's a very interesting concept. However, it will suffice to say for the now that a lot of these drugs which come into Pakistan are originally from Afghanistan. Afghanistan has poppy fields. Afghanistan is one of the world's top producers of heroin, and from Afghanistan they come to Pakistan. Remember, Afghanistan is a landlocked country, and Iran, one of Afghanistan's biggest neighbors, Iran is extremely unforgiving when it comes to drugs because it has very strict Sharia law. They'll just cut your head off if you sell drugs in Iran. Iran. The Iranians are very strict. The Pakistanis are morally flexible. So what happens is that all these drugs come from Pakistan and then they come to India, right? Obviously, in India, there are drug users like every other country in the world. In Punjab, Punjab and Kashmir are two places where drug users are actually very high. That movie was made, Udta Punjab or something like that, if you remember. If some of you who are not foreigners and have seen this movie, Udta Punjab, you'll realize that I'm not saying that the movie is based on a true story, but what happens in the movie is true. It happens like that. So lot of drugs come from there. They come into Kashmir also. They come into, and how do they go to Kashmir? It's very difficult to send drones across the line of control because it's so heavily guarded. It becomes impossible, plus the weather, plus the terrain and all that. So what happens is from Punjab, it goes to Jammu. From Jammu, it enters Kashmir. This is the pipeline. So essentially, either it will come through Jammu, where there are hills and not very, very high mountains in some regions, or it will come through Punjab, and from there, it goes up to Kashmir and also in Punjab and the rest of India. This is how Pakistan makes money. This, ladies and gentlemen, is called narco-terrorism. And this is what Pakistan has been doing. This is how Pakistan funds its nefarious activities. This is exactly how the Khalistanis are funded. You'll be wondering, suddenly, Khalistanis will say that, this is something that we have done and we are going to take out a march. We are going to the High Commission, we are going to the embassy, we are going to the consulate, we are going to do this and that. How do they make money? The Pakistanis, through drugs. How do they fund the Khalistanis? Through the narco-terror channel, and then the Khalistanis use that money to do all of that. Whatever little they have not siphoned off, they use it for that. Because everything costs money. Everything costs money. They print those Khalistani flags. That costs money. People's time, that costs money. The cameras with which they shoot, that costs money. The entire publicity, that costs money. And then there is a Khalistani guy who is actually calling up news channels and saying that, somebody was telling me the other day that, the no news channel covered what they did. And this guy was very, very upset. And then he had a contact in Indian media and he sent that WhatsApp to the Indian media guy and said that, please play it, please play it. We have done so much work and you guys are not even amplifying it in India. So we need amplification. We need all of this. And so the Indian media started playing it and the Khalistanis were damn happy that, okay, we've done something very great. So this is how the entire ecosystem functions, ladies and gentlemen. Now, coming back to what is happening in Pakistan, something very interesting, though sad, but very interesting. There have been a spate of attacks recently, a spate of attacks. And I will tell you why exactly these attacks are happening in Pakistan. One of the reasons, ladies and gentlemen, that these attacks are happening is that the tone and tonality of the Pakistani establishment regarding Afghanistan is aggressive in nature. And I don't blame the Pakistanis. I don't blame the Pakistan. I blame their foreign policy. I blame their stupidity. I blame their, this entire thing about not being able to decipher, looking at everything through the lens of religion, through the lens of Islam, and saying that if two people are Muslim, everything is going to be okay, right? And I blame them for not reading 1971, for not understanding why Bangladesh broke. They don't understand these things. And they go on the same trajectory. And then, some great man said, I don't know if it was Einstein or somebody who said that, no, it wasn't Einstein, it was some scientist or some great thinker who said that, madness is when you keep on repeating something, and expect a different answer or something like that. Words to that effect. That you keep on doing the same thing again and again and then expect a different result or a different answer. That is the definition of madness. And this is why I called Pakistan mad. They're doing the same thing again and again, hoping for a different result. Now, in case of these attacks, ladies and gentlemen, these attacks have entirely happened because Pakistan says we'll attack you. Khaja Asif, the most unemployed Pakistani minister, after the Science and Technology Minister and the Law and Justice Minister of Pakistan, he's the third most unemployed minister in Pakistan. Khaja Asif is the Defense Minister, and he says that, we'll give a shut-up call to the Afghans, and we'll teach them a lesson, and time has come to attack and all that. Now, nobody takes him seriously, and Pakistan uses the Defense Minister to give threats. You'll never see the Pakistani army chief threatening anyone. You'll always see the Defense Minister threatening people, because the Defense Minister is not taken seriously, and it gives Pakistan plausible deniability. Let the Defense Minister threaten, and it's all right if he threatens. If the Pakistani Defense Minister threatens, it doesn't mean very much. And then you can always say that, you can always tell the other nation that, this guy doesn't matter, forget about him, don't take it to heart. Believe what the army chief says, and their army chief never threatens. In this case, what has happened is that the army chief and the ISPR have also gone around saying that Afghanistan is not, or the Taliban regime actually, is not fulfilling the terms of the Doha Agreement. One of the things about the Doha Agreement was that Afghanistan's land will not be used for terror activities against its neighbors or near neighbors, whatever. The Taliban responded by saying that why are the Pakistanis worried about the Doha Agreement? They are not even part of the Doha Agreement, which is correct. The Doha Agreement was between the Taliban and the Americans. So this is where it stands right now. You all know about the problems happening around the Durand line, and this is how the Taliban are pushing. The Pakistanis are saying we'll conduct airstrikes inside Afghanistan, and let me tell you, the day the Pakistanis try anything funny inside Afghanistan, like massive airstrikes or artillery fire, the Afghan Taliban don't have an air force, for that matter. They don't have fighter jets or great fixed-wing aircraft. They have a couple of helicopters here and there, but the Taliban has nothing like Pakistanis have. The JF-17 Thunder, and they have the F-16s, etc. So they have the capability of carrying out airstrikes. Afghans do not even have a viable, air defense system by which they can take out Pakistani planes, etc. They might be having a few Stinger missiles, leftovers from the past era, but that's about all. There is no robust system in place. The problem is the Taliban has something which nobody has. At least the Pakistani army does not have. Indirectly it may, but directly it does not have. It has an entire regiment of suicide bombers. And this is why it's extremely dangerous, and this is why there must be peace between Pakistan and Afghanistan, because what will Afghanistan do in return? What will the Taliban do in return? If you bomb them, they'll just send 20 suicide bombers. This was a suicide bomber, by the way, this recent blast in Peshawar near DHA, right? A very secure, a very posh colony, defense housing, where all the generals and all the bureaucrats live. This is the place to be in. If you're a Pakistani and if you have a house in DHA, which means you're well off, you're rich, which probably means you have another passport of another country and you have a house in Dubai or a summer house in London. It means all of that. And this is exactly where they chose. So few people were injured when they chose to, set off that suicide attack. The people, maybe it's the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, which has, I think, taken responsibility, if I'm not mistaken. So all these things are happening, ladies and gentlemen, inside Pakistan. One other very interesting news, ladies and gentlemen, is the dubious role of a Pakistani army chief in securing a Saudi loan. Now, the Pakistani army chief has been publicly thanked. He has been thanked by Pakistani Finance Minister Ishaq Dar. He has been also thanked by the Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif. So thank you, General Sahab, for getting us this loan. Now, this is exactly what, the past few army chiefs, actually all of them, right from the time of Ayub Khan, the Pakistani chiefs have been begging for money. Rahil Sharif got money. Parvez Musharraf got a lot of money when he was army chief. Then General Bajwa got a lot of money. And right now, General Asim Munir, who's the army chief of Pakistan, he got a lot of money. He very recently managed to get $2 billion US. This is not small change, He got $2 billion from the Saudis. And these are 4 points, written from this article. They're part of this article only. And this is in the Quint. Very interesting. It says, oil-rich Saudi outsourced all menial and difficult jobs that its over-entitled citizenry deemed inappropriate for themselves to pursue, hence inducting a huge migrant workforce from Pakistan. So, when Saudis came into money, they said that we'll not do all these small little things like cleaning and driving, etc. So they said, we want people from outside. People from India also went, people from Pakistan also went, right? What happened was that over a period of time, the Indians got more and more educated and they started climbing up the ladder. Pakistanis did not get educated. They depended only on Saudi Arabia being a Muslim country. And that was Pakistan's calling card. So in Pakistan, people did not get educated. They sent only the people at the bottom of the educational ladder to other countries to get foreign exchange, right? Indians initially sent labor. After a decade, they sent supervisors. After a decade, they sent managers. Then they started sending general managers. Today, India is sending CEOs all over the world. Pakistan was sending laborers yesterday. It is sending laborers today. It will send laborers tomorrow because there is no education in Pakistan worth its name. So then, beside the element of religiosity, the frequent grant of financial aid and the sizable quantum of foreign exchange repatriation by the Pakistani migrant workforce made Saudi Arabia the Shangri-La for all purposes. With this backdrop, when the entire global focus was on IMF, potentially bailing out Pakistan from economic meltdown, it was Saudi Arabia who slipped USD 2 billion into Pakistani coffers suddenly. So, he said, Ishaq Dar says, I thank Saudi Arabia. On behalf of the Prime Minister of Pakistan, I thank Saudi Arabia and the army chief. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly what Pakistan is doing, their army is doing. And their army chief goes as soon as, and this is normal. And this is not to make fun or make light of Pakistan's situation. They are adept at doing it themselves. We don't need to work hard in that direction. What the Pakistanis do very well is whenever their army chiefs take the oath, there is this huge pomp and show. There is a parade where hundreds and thousands of soldiers are marching and saluting their chief and saying that well done and well begged and well taken. As far as the loans are concerned, the outgoing chief goes away, the new chief comes in, and the first thing that the incumbent does after meeting everybody and after doing all of that, he takes a flight, hat in hand, and first he goes to Saudi Arabia, and then he goes to China, then he goes to UAE, all these Biradar Islami Mulk, brother Islamic countries, and then he begs. And the Chief of Army Staff of the Pakistan Army is not judged on how ready his forces are to fight the enemies. He's not judged by how secure the borders are, because the borders are insecure. Every day the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan is coming and hammering the Pakistanis. There is bloodshed inside Pakistan, especially in Balochistan and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. But the army chief is not judged by his professional acumen as a soldier, his professional capabilities as a general. No. He is judged by the government and by the people of Pakistan if he manages to get money. So how much money did you get? It's a $1 billion. You're an okay chief. I got $2 billion. You're a better chief. I got $5 billion. You're the best chief that Pakistan has ever had in its history. It's like that in Pakistan. General Asim Munir has just proven his worth by getting $2 billion from Saudi Arabia. And I'm telling you, this is not the last that we're hearing of this. Very soon you'll hear that he has gone to China, he has gone to United Arab Emirates and managed to get some more money, $1 billion or $2 more from these friendly countries, Islamic and not so Islamic. That is how Pakistan works. So friends, thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, press like, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram, Bharat Mata Ki Jai.